If cybercrime suddenly disappeared, do you think people would stop being careful online?
When someone is selling anything which is free for you, then they're not selling some product for you, but you are the product for that company.
And even I honestly think like people are only conscious because they know there is a risk.
Hello everyone, welcome to the second episode of Digital Detective Show. And on today's episode, we discuss about if the world would be safer without cybercrime or would it just be naive. We use the internet every day, but it comes with its own risks like hacking, online fraud and much more. So imagine a world without cybercrime. Would it actually be safe or would it just feel like that? So we second year BCA students of Claret College Autonomous are gathered here today to provide our insights on this topic. I'm Sarah, your host from Claret College Autonomous, here to discuss about this topic. For today's episode, we have Ms. Ankita.
Hi.
Mr. Karthik.
Hi.
Ms. Firdos. Hi. Ms. Steffi.
Hi.
And Ms. Devapriya.
Hi.
Now we'll dive into the questions. So we'll start from the questions. If cybercrime suddenly disappeared, do you think people would stop being careful online?
Honestly, I think yes. Not at the beginning or very not suddenly, but over the time they would stop being careless because we people have the nature like we will only be alert when there is a risk outside in the world, okay? Or else we just pretend like there is no risk, we can be too relaxed. So I think it's not immediately, but over the time people will think like, there is no risk outside in internet or in the cybercrime. So people would just be like, we can do whatever, we can click on any link we want, we can share our personal information, we can put our personal info like our phone number, images, whatever videos in the internet, and no one gonna do anything because there is no risk outside, right? They may think in that sense, but it's completely not true. I don't think so cybercrime would ever be like fully vanished. It would just disappear. It would just disappear for some period of time, but it would even come in a different form of like it would come in the AI based nowadays, because we know as AI is evolving, even the cybercrime will also evolve with it. As we all know, we are using AI in education, right? Even the hackers will also use it in their own work too, so that it will make them easy. So I don't think so it will completely like disappear. It will just evolve in a different way. And cybercrime is not just only hacking or scam. There are many other stuff or risk or threats in the online. So people would just, at the beginning, people would just like relax, but later on it will even come with another different form and it will even disturb people more.
Okay. So cybercrime didn't exist. Would some ethical issues in technology also disappear with it?
Not surely, because it's both the ways, right? Because ethical concerns are it's a part of cybersecurity or cyber crimes, but it's part ways after a while, because we won't see ethics when we have a need or a want. Like if we need money, we are ready to go to an extent. Once you have stepped into thinking that, I have to do something cyber, let me try to draw some money from their pocket by any means. There are no ethical concerns then. Once you have started to cross that line, so cybersecurity as a whole, in ethical concerns, if we see, there are a lot more problems. Example, it might be deepfake. Are there any ethics out there? We see that as a content for them so that they are able to humiliate or extract or do something with that content, right? Deepfakes, they're not an ethical reason to say that in a cybersecurity, but it's a problem. It's a cybercrime which is happening. And another example is bank issues. We have so many transactions happening. When we click on a link, our amount is easily getting deducted from our bank accounts, even without our consent. Sometimes we just get a message, we open that message, done. Our transactions are just going off. It is not a way, it's two different things, right? Coming back to the question as a whole, it's not ethically good. There are lot many problems because of cybercrime happening.
So do you think a completely fear-free internet would make people too dependent on online?
Yeah, a fear-free internet would make people too dependent on the internet or the social media because they have been using it from a very long time, and they are too used to it that even when there is a crime happening, they used to prevent it before, but now that it is gone, they just tend to be less cautious about the situation. They tend to be less aware about the situation. They are like now as now there is no crime which is happening, they tend to be leisure in the situation. They have the vulnerability of resilience, and their own capabilities will be reduced, and they solve the problem using the online platforms or tools. Their own intelligence will get affected due to these things. So I think it will affect.
And even I honestly think like people are only conscious because they know there is a risk. Okay, people would like not be conscious, or they would fully get into the online behavior in that way. Like they will think like there is a no risk outside, we can do whatever we need, because it's making them even less careless. Like they are not at all careful for their action, whatever they are doing in internet. So I don't think so. This some part of it, like there is something which because of the cyber crime, people are alert. People are like carefully reading every stuff in their mobile, directly clicking in it. So I think so even the cyber crime, somewhere it has made people more conscious about this stuff or the behavior they have did, like they're doing it in online.
Okay, so what kind of industries do you think will disappear if cybercrime stopped existing?
Well, basically, India will have a massive cybersecurity threat because most of the companies, basically, it's built because security exists. If there's no security, it's like you can just do whatever you want to without any, you don't have to be scared about anything anymore. Where do you think the most of the cybersecurity jobs are? That's basically more of the Koramangalur and Whitefield places. There you see most of the cybersecurity jobs because people mostly get jobs in these fields. So if one day everything just disappears, there's no degree, no LinkedIn titles, and everything just disappears. We have these industries just because threats exist. And same way, antivirus companies, firewalls, cyber insurance, all those are there because threats exist. If not, there's nothing. We get ads and everything on our phone. It's because it's showing us our scams. And in TV also, if we see, they'll show that banking, insurance, the scams that can happen, the OTP problems, even the SIM card, advertisements also. They say that they will verify the scam calls and everything. It's all because they are showing us the threat so that we be aware of the thing and we not get scammed. So basically, if everything just disappears, we'll have a massive industry hit and everything. Okay. So yeah.
As we were actually talking about the Instagram ads as a whole, sometimes we have conversation. Example, we are having a good conversation about the podcast about cybercrime as a whole. So after this end of the shoot, we might end up having ads saying about the same thing. There are people gonna be speaking. It might be content by someone content maker, or it might be just ads popping up. And we generalize it saying that it's just an Instagram algorithm doing its work. But we are least concerned about that it's actually listening and that data is being transferred onto its concerned companies. It might be the phone companies, or it might be other companies as well, who is actually paying to that brand so that it can listen through the microphone inside your phone, try to access that signals, send it as the code to the other company so that they can use it. So why does it need? Example, when you're talking to your parents, okay, you're thinking to buy a new item. It might be a TV, it might be a AC. So what happens? You try to check sometimes without even checking. There are popped up messages coming into your phone saying that you get in a lesser amount, you have discounts, festival offer coming up. So you wait until that festival, we'll give you the offer in that so-called thing. So we're generalizing a lot of concept which is happening all around us, but it is a tweaking point where it can lead up to a threat as well. We have generalized to such an extent, even though when a scammer comes and puts out a message in a similar way, we go and access it actually, without even showing a bit of concern that there might be a scam happening. So it's quite an hectic problem where we are not able to bring that boundary saying that which is actually true, which is a cybercrime as a whole.
So if there were no cybercrimes at all, would the internet actually be safe, or would it just feel like that?
according to me, it would just feel in that way. But to be honest, internet will never be safe in future also, in present also. Internet is never safe. Okay, yeah, of course, people may think cybercrime has been reduced or it is disappeared. So people would think like there is no risk outside in internet or online. So people behavior in the online would change drastically because they would be free. They would do whatever they want. They would share anything they want. But it's not like only cybercrime is the crime in the internet or online. There are other lot of risk, like people use your your personal information and make it private, which you do not want it to share it. Okay, there are some in some social media like in Instagram or Facebook. Like you give permission to all your access, but they're hidden. The access are hidden. Okay, when we give the access, they only shows us some sort of information. But inside, when you actually go inside and read there, it's like they're accessing your location, they're accessing your microphone, like whatever we speak, whatever we search, it's finding other application also. You can think like how our data is getting distributed among other sources also. When we actually go, for an example, when I go and search something very personal in Google, it should not be reflected in other platforms also, right? But it does. For an example, when I went to the Google and I was just randomly searching for one shoe which I really wanted to buy. Okay, and as soon as I closed it, I searched there, and as soon as I closed it, and I went for YouTube, the same shoes, the ditto shoe with the same price was also there. Like, how did YouTube came to know just 5 minutes before I was searching in Google? So you can think our data is getting transferred to other sources also, which we do not exactly want. Okay, shoes is not a personal deal, but still there would be some other personal information for people who do not want to get leaked, but they still search for it. So I don't think so. Like our privacy and data is getting protected. Of course, cybercrime would not happen, but like a lot of our data and our private information and misuse of news is like when we hear rumors, we believe it, even though it is not real, we believe it. Okay, internet is saying this, so it may be true. So I don't think so like people would feel safe outside in the online. Before trusting anything, we should still be conscious about it. We have to get through everything we do in internet. Okay, I don't think so. It's a myth. Our privacy, which we say it is within ourselves or it is within our one application, it is a myth. It's totally wrong. They use our information, our data in other sources also, which we really don't want it to go. Okay, so I don't think so it will ever happen, or I don't think so internet will ever feel safe. It's just the way you have to use it, and you have to be still more careful and be more precaution whenever you use internet for anything.
Yeah, so I would like to give you an example, like a real-time example. Like few days ago, in my friend's mobile, there was a app downloaded called NetMirror, which we all use. Instead of paying for the Netflix, we use NetMirror. Like we can watch all the movies or series, whatever we wanted, without paying amount and all. So because of downloading NetMirror in mobile phone, that application didn't support to be in that mobile phone. So what happened? Her Instagram, her Facebook, her phone pay, her even Google, it was always like hanging. Her phone started hanging, and she was not even able to use even one application in her mobile phone. So not each and every application in your mobile phone will support your mobile phone. Some application is always used in laptops or in your PCs, and some application is always used in mobile phones. So because of this, after we deleted that NetMirror from her phone, her phone became normal like how it was before. So it is just a suggestion for everyone to use the apps which is only used in mobile phone, and the app which is not applicable for mobile phone to not use in mobile phones.
Yeah, to be honest, is genuinely true, because why do you even think the Netflix, which we pay and use it, the NetMirror gives it the same way? Like of all the series, all the movies we watch in Netflix is free NetMirror. Why do they even give us? Because they're trying to fool us, but in a different manner. They don't directly say that we are fooling you guys, but they are. Because in Netflix, we pay for a subscription and then we get the access for the movies. But in NetMirror, they do it for free. Because inside the behind the scene, we don't know, they are collecting our data, our information without letting us know. While they're downloading, they said they contain this is a harmful site, please before thinking, please download it. But we people, they have put in a trap inside us. Like they will we will give this movies and series for them for free. They will just log in and they will just use it. When we people also fall for it, because we don't want to get paid version of Netflix and use it. Okay, because we will think in NetMirror we are getting a free everything, why do we need even pay? But behind the scene there is a brutal reality which they don't want us to know. Like they want to hide every stuff from us and use our information, data, our Gmail, they collect everything. So when the Gmail goes, they have access for our mails, everything. Okay. So yeah, they makes us to fall in a trap which we don't ourselves get noticed, but later on they use this our data and information, whatever we have given it by during the time of login, they're using it in the different sources also.
As we're talking about NetMirror, we'll give a deeper insight of it. How many use NetMirror in laptop right now? Like normally we use it, right? What happens? We feel we are just accessing NetMirror at the start. But after a while, there's a toggle coming when you open it up. It says, "Are you a robot?" You tick it on it. And it gives a direct access into its own website. How is it happening? That ticking is not just checking you as a robot, but inversely you're giving a permission saying that you can use my laptop or device for your data. You can access my device. We're not knowing it, but internally it's happening. As one of the person said, when someone is selling you free, okay, anything which is free for you, then they're not selling some product for you, but you are the product for that company.
Yeah, true.
Example, ChatGPT or Gemini as well. Whenever they run that Ghibli trend, okay, who run it? Is it the Gemini which is running it, or is it we running it for them? We were the people who were running it for them because it is free.
Yeah.
Once it was only subscription model, they had to pay on people saying that you have to subscribe first, then use Ghibli, then create it as a trend. Then it was not supposed to be a trend because there's a concern behind it as well, saying we are sending out our private reasons or concerns out there, like our private details. It might be face. There are a lot more deepfakes cases happening, so we might fall back seeing that subscription. But now it is free. Everyone will start using it. Created a trend around it, which is actually we becoming a product for the company than they selling their so-called things. So when we fall into the trap of free every time, they're getting something from us. It's not something free every time.
Exactly.
So, coming back to personal information, do you think people would start giving out more of their personal information if cybercrime didn't exist?
Actually, yes. As I just spoke about the Ghibli trend, when we have so many rules set up, so many people talking about cyber security as a whole, there are a lot more concerns raised, red flags raised up saying that you shouldn't do it. But people do it just for that personal bliss or happiness for a while. Even in such a harsh constraint, people are happy to give out their details. When you give them a free hand on the other side, they do it in a higher basis. Now, there might be some people just stop because there are people saying there is crime happening, right? Once we give them a free hand saying that you can do it, there are less crime rates. So you can start using it, everyone will start using it. They start giving you the data around. This is a problem. So we can't see it on the one side saying that there will be no more cases, but it will happen in a higher basis.
Yeah.
So, cybercrime vanished. Do you think it would take some other form into some other crime?
If cyber crime vanishes, it will come into a new form. It is not that it is coming in only one possible form. There can be a different platform, different ways of crimes which can occur in people. So if one day it happens in one website, it can happen the other. And now that there is AI and deepfakes and all, they can use all that IoT technology and they can put for the fakes application and trick people into thinking that they are doing the right things, and people get fooled by all that silly things or ads which can occur in them. And I think that is the problem which occurs with people and the manipulation system which occurs here.
So, without worrying about security, would companies tend to more user-friendly stuff rather than cyber things?
Well, mainly Bangalore feels a big hit of this. Basically, because we use many apps that ask us, especially the banking apps that ask us to verify KYC every time, and the UPI thing and everything. So suddenly, when you're paying for the chai wala for something, and suddenly the UPI is asking you have to verify the OTP because of some unauthorized access and everything. So you have to ask that person to wait for 5 minutes, or you have to be embarrassed and like, I have to pay it now, but there's a problem. So basically, this all will be happening because such things happen. If that's not happening, imagine that there's only UPI can be done with one tap, and the government websites like, IRCTC and DigiLocker and everything. So basically, if you want to do you have to book a ticket, you have to actually verify many captchas, you have to pay the OTP verification password and everything. And by the time the seat's gone. So everything happens in that way. It's like security is actually making us hard and it's actually wasting us time. But if it's making it user friendly, because then everything can be done easily. The main thing these lag us is because they actually check for any fraud or verification and everything. Then they use our intent and everything. But this can actually be minimized in some extent as well. So basically, everything can be user friendly for some extent, but everything has its own harms and benefits. So yeah.
So, do you think people would be more open to trying technology like AI and IoT if there were no risk at all?
Yes, people would be much more comfortable. Technologies like AI and IoT use a lot of personal information about you, and people have that fear in themselves about getting tracked, hacking, and recorded. Like, for example, we use Alexa, like smart home devices like Alexa, smart cameras, and all for our personal use. For example, if you ask Alexa to play a song or anything what you wanted to ask for, it will collect all your information, your voice, and what and all you wanted, or it would actually understand what you're asking for. And then when it comes to smart cameras, it will record you, like what you're doing. Each and everything will be recorded in that. So somewhere there will be a hesitation, like what if I'm getting tracked, what if I'm being hacked, or what if my information is getting misused, and all of those stuffs. So we'll have to, if we ask anything, we'll have to make sure that our information is not getting leaked. Of course, we can't go into that and we can't ask him or her to stop leaking our information, but we should be careful enough. And when it comes to healthcare information, like there are many apps which will help you to generate your healthcare issues. Like we use AI apps like for blood pressure, to check your blood pressure or your heart rate. You can use it in your smartwatches and even in your mobile applications also. You can't expect these AI things or AI tools to tell properly what it's happening, like whether your blood pressure is proper or not. You can't perfectly completely rely on that. So until and unless these threats and other things are getting proper, you just can't rely on that.
Well, I have an example about that. So recently my friend applied for PAN card. So actually when she searched for PAN card, she just got into the first website that showed, but it actually was a sponsored website. And she filled all her details and everything. And suddenly they told that email verification will be sent to do the next step. But email verification was not given. So before that, they asked her to pay some amount to get that. And she just lost her amount because of that. So basically, it can happen for our daily basis activities also, because voter ID card, PAN card, and everything that we take after our 18 years old and all, it's actually important for us. But we just sometimes fell into the wrong website and fell into the traps and everything. So we have to be careful for each and everything.
Based on the examples we've gone through as a whole right now, we see there's a lot of lack in knowledge. Rather than saying that there are a lot more scammers and we are getting scammed, we can see that we are not much educated in the perspective of it. One is because because the stream of knowledge sending is one thing, they have to come voluntarily and learn about cybersecurity, which is way too hard because there are much more things which they have to learn through. Cybersecurity is a part of it. It's not a whole job kind of thing where people are not showing much effect on it. Second part, Instagram and social media, where we just scroll it off, because why do we get into that? For some relatable situations, that's it. So there are people feel that this type of content is very boring kind of thing, so they don't get into you. So once people start neglecting you, even algorithm shifts you out. It doesn't treat you as a person who has to be special, like important person who has to share into many more accounts out there. It won't do for you until people are not interested. The lack of knowledge is the main problem where people are not able to understand first thing, what is the cybercrime and what is not a cybercrime. And as you had said, there are much more problems around it without the knowledge regarding that. As we have so many subjects, why don't we create this as an experience in a different way? Not causing cybercrimes, but just mentioning that to people, saying that you might fall into it. Creating that environment around you matters a lot.
Not only in our college, I think so the education and this awareness should be given for each and every people, because we all know the scammer and the hacker usually points out to the people who are uneducated, because they think like these people will easily fall in the trap. Okay, because I have seen a news where old age people, they exactly most of the time we ourselves don't know about the scam and hacking, how they may know, right? So they don't know anything like that. So one day what happened, they just got a message SMS like their account has been blocked. So to unblock it, you have to open this link and you have to fill some personal information. So of course they were old age, they were not having much of information about like what exactly it's happening to them behind the scene. But yeah, they filled it, but after some span of minute they got the message like this much amount of money was withdrawn. Like we can see that this awareness should not be only within the educated people like us in our college or school or students, it should also be the people outside who are uneducated. We have to make them aware in such a way that they may understand. It's not like we will take and go this book and give it them. We have to make them aware in such a way that they actually understand it, and they would also be like not be fallen into that trap of getting hacked or scammed.
Yeah, when it comes to tracking and hacking, from our college itself, we had a extension activity about cybersecurity where many of us have went outside, and our work was to go to each and everyone home and to just check whether they know about this or not. When we went, I was one of them. So when we went for this activity, many of them didn't even know what is cybercrime, what's happening, and there are many links coming to WhatsApp or Instagram or to social media apps. They're just clicking that link and getting hacked or trapped into their thing. So when we went, like most of us, even the Gen Zs, we tell them so-called Gen Zs, but even they doesn't know. Many Gen Zs doesn't have phone. Like even in rural areas or in some other places where if I give an example, like many parents will not allow their children to use mobile phones. There are few homes even like that. Mm-hmm. So they would not be knowing what is the cybercrime and all those stuffs. When they will start using first time mobile phones and they just randomly click onto some links and all these things happen. And like how Angita told, old people doesn't know about this. So even like when we went to one house, there was a old woman. She was like, I just click on whatever it comes. And when we were telling about all these things happening, like all this will happen if you do all this, we were just making her aware about all these things. Then she was like telling her own story, like when she clicked some link from the WhatsApp and her account was hacked, like her PhonePe account was hacked and all the money was transferred from her phone to the hacker's phone.
So coming back, do you think tech innovations would be slowed down if there are no cyber threats pushing it forward?
To be honest, no. Tech innovation will not stop, because the innovation does not just happen in the cyber security platform. Okay, technological innovation is much bigger than cyber security, because innovation is not only restricted within that boundary. It is much bigger and huge. Okay, like for an example, these AI apps, we have ChatGPT and the recommendation system in YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify. They just recommend us. It's not because there is a cyber crime outside there, so this engine is the recommendation engine. They have this because to improve the user experience and to automate our task and to make our task even smarter and easy. Okay, it's not like always technologies evolve because of the cyber security. Technology is far more bigger than what we think actually it is, and the technology will evolve even bigger form. Even though the cyber security is reduced or cyber threats are reduced, the technology will still evolve, because as we know, technology is only not just restricted here. As we know, nowadays, like if you want the company, Elon Musk company, SpaceX, they have so much of innovation in technology just so that they can make a travel from here to space so easily. That's not because they have a cyber threat there, so they're innovating there. It is because they are like trying something to do for their innovation or for their ambition to reach from space to the from Earth to the space. So it's not only because of the cybersecurity they're innovating something. And even in healthcare, as she mentioned, there is a smartwatch which tracks the fitness of ourselves, how many steps we have walked today, what is our heart rate. It's not because there is a cybersecurity, right? It's because they are just doing better. For people, for the people would come to know what exactly it's happening in their body. And there are also even some AI based tools which help the healthcare industry very much. They helps to diagnose the disease of the patient before itself because of the AI. This is not because there is a cyber threat, okay? Because there is they're making easy, making easy for the doctors out there so that they can identify the disease earlier. And there is even lot of many, nowadays we have Tesla, a car which do not even need a driver for driving it, okay? It's not because there is a cyber threat so the Tesla has been innovated, right? The technology is innovated. It's not because of that. They have innovated because there is a lot of thing to be innovated in technology still. We are thinking so much of stuff has been innovated in technology right now, but still more. There are still more. We just don't know what it gonna be in future, but still there are a lot of stuff to be built. It's not only restricted within the cyber security, there are other fields too in technology. It's not just we are getting scammed, we need to build some application. We have so much of application, okay, software of antivirus where we protect our system getting hacked and all. But it's not, technology is not only restricted within it. There are a lot of stuff, lot of field where technology is getting evolved or built in. So I don't think so innovation will stop. Technology innovation will rapidly grow, and it's still growing and it will still grow. And I don't think so if the cyber threats disappear, the innovation and technology also disappear, it will even transfer its form. Before, people used to mainly develop those kind of technology which would make people protected, right? But of course now already cyber security is not that. People would aim to build something else which would even helpful for the people a lot than just protecting them. There would be some other technology which will help them. So I don't think so innovation will completely stop. It will evolve. It will evolve in such a way that we can't even imagine right now.
Just coming with the whole thing, when we were starting with AI was a 50-year-old thing. There were people trying to find out different things in this own concept. When we started using that AI agents, we had a feeling around, is it a scam? Every new thing which comes up in a technology or innovation, we see that, is it a scam? That's the first question which we are asking. Then we'll get into the topic. We don't see it as a product, what it is serving. Then we see just as a scam. Is it something which is trying to hide behind? It's all because there is lack of transparency behind it. Many brands or companies out there are not so transparent because they want to, it's in different means. It might be taxation issues, trying to show reduced income to themselves and stuff. So what happens is smartwatch data, where is it going? But speak it out openly, right? When they start speaking, there's a trust which is being built for a company as well. You can invest that data for trust as well. If you build that trust, there are much more consumers coming. This is a good brand. Why do we go for Tata every time? They have built that trust, right? So then showing that as a scam in the cyber, because all the crimes happening all around, we can show that, see, our company is using your data for sure. We are very understanding and we respect that. But on the other side, we are using the data for your betterment, saying that in India, this data is being used to track how many people are suffering from sugar, how many people are struggling from heartbeat issues or lower BP or higher BP. Better position it in that way so that people are trusting your innovation and transparency keeps on working. So this way we can reduce that fear of cybercrime and use it as a better way where you can build yourself than just restricting, saying that we are using your data but not letting that thing to be known to the consumers out there. Because consumer might start feeling that fear in them. This company is actually using our data. Why should we go there? So it's the way we give out things to the consumer than just keeping it in our hands.
With that, we come to the end of this episode of Digital Detectives. It reminds us that even if a world with cybercrime doesn't exist, it might form into some other kind of crime. So thank you all for watching.
Hi.
Bye.
Bye.
Where are the other questions?
So just